Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This topic is going to be one that I haven't hit in quite a while. And I've run across a couple of comments recently. I wish I had a copy of them because it would be a good discussion point, but I'll just kind of paraphrase. And I've gotten a few people lately who ask, what, you just let them get away with everything? You don't fight back on anything? And the part of this that I think a lot of people, well, especially when you're early into this, you don't see is the phases that you go through. And I'd made a video about this, like the 4 phases of this. And I'll put a link in the description so you can check that out. It's an older video. But bottom line, it boils down to two really fundamental truths on this. And the first one of that is at the beginning, when you're just getting cremated by your ex, with the help more than likely of the family court system, you get really, really angry. I mean, you get super angry. Let me roll the window down here a little bit. And you want some type of justice. You want accountability. You want some fairness. You want them to be held accountable for what they've done, the lies that they've told, the crap that they're causing. And in our mind, you're expecting something fair. At least I know I was. I was expecting for her to get her comeuppance, for to get slapped down for all the BS, to have to venture in the world and have to deal with the issues of life and no longer, sponge and live off of me. Well, I got a rude awakening rather quickly that what the family court system in California considers fair was completely different than what I thought was fair. And more than likely, that's going to be your experience as well. Unless the only way that would be not the case, excuse me, is if you are well aware of how this works, so your expectations of how it's going to go are realistic. I, in my situation, did not have a realistic expectation of how things were going to go. I had a idealistic, I think that's maybe a Freudian slip there, an idealistic view of how things were going to go. I thought that truth would come out and, she would have to take care of herself and all those things. I also thought that for some stupid reason that she wasn't going to go around and play the victim and make me out to be the bad guy because, in my mind, I was, I did everything possible to try to make her happy. Anyways, whatever. We all have our role in this. I'm not going to say I was a saint, but I was definitely not, as you probably are not, the monster that you're being made out to be. So, here's the deal. Getting back to these two fundamental things about this. In the beginning, you're so angry that you want to hold them accountable for everything. So anytime they do something that's against the court order or is messed up, or when they try to tell you that you're a horrible person, a horrible parent, you want to outline in excruciating detail all the points to prove that you are in fact not that and that they are. And if you have the resources and the money and stuff, which I quickly ran out of, then you go back to court and you battle it out there. Now, if you're able to land some blows, so to speak, if you're able to get some fairness, get some accountability, then great on you. That is outstanding. It does happen. I've even seen it with some viewers on the channel and some coaching clients. But typically it happens farther down the process, and it's like a long thing. So here's the caveat with this. And it's a fine line, right? Because when you get to the point where I say, look, you got to choose your battles, you got to, let a lot of this crap go for your own sanity, If you're early into this and you haven't utilized all the arrows in your quiver, so to speak, then it's too soon for you to be at that point, because there's still a chance for you to have a crushing victory over your ex that is going to change everything, hold them accountable, have them scurry off into the corner, whimpering or whatever. It does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. The problem is that after a while, if it doesn't work and you keep going back and the battle just keeps waging on and you're not making any progress, you're losing a ton of money, a ton of your sanity, you have to make the decision on when you're at the point that no contact and hybrid no contact are the right way to go. Until you've gotten to that point, you're not ready to move on to that. And I'm not saying, even if you're winning, even if, let's say you do get the crushing victory, at some point you got to pivot to where you start taking your life back to where you're not focusing on the ex, 900% of the time. I know that's weird coming from a guy who has a YouTube channel that's constantly talking about this crap. The only reason I do that is because it's helping you. And I do still remember how freaking hard this was when I started out on this divorce thing, not this YouTube channel thing, that there wasn't any resources. There wasn't any guidance of people who would say, man, this is how you get from point A to point B and get your life back and mitigate the damage and undo the parental alienation and really start to make some changes in your life. At least, 9 years ago when I started this, that wasn't available. And I made it really hard. When I was trying to figure this crap out on my own, didn't really work well. And when people would say, you just got to let it go, I wanted to poke them in the eye, because it's like, how do you see? And this is what's weird is when I get these comments, I completely understand it. Because when people would tell me, you just gotta, man, you gotta let this go. You gotta get your life back. And I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to let this go when this person has effing destroyed everything? Destroyed, my future, is destroying the kids, is getting away with everything, skipping along down the road. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? The difference is that, you fight in the beginning, you try to make the most amount of progress you can, but at some point, when that progress is no longer being made, you got to pivot and do something different. Now, for me, I fought and I tried and I scraped and clawed for any victory I could get. Now, granted, I wasn't able to go back to court because I was completely dead broke. So it wasn't like I was in the position that every time she screwed up and violated the court order that I was able to go back and try to do contempt charges. I didn't have the money. And I also didn't have the emotional stability back then to be able to do it on my own. Like shout out to Alex Falcone from The Proper Person. If you haven't checked him out, you have to. That guy is amazing in what he was able to accomplish doing that. I wasn't able to do that. This crap made me so stressed and anxious and just screwed with my health that me being the front person on my own battle like that, I just wasn't able to do at the time. Now, maybe I could do it now, I don't know, but I don't want to. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have to engage with her. I don't want to have to fight a fight for what? Right now, the most I could get out of this at this stage of the game is maybe some money because I'm overpaying in child support and alimony probably. But it just... The problem with these things is these people just don't ever freaking stop. So, it's always a tit for tat for them. So you poke them, they're going to poke back. Now, if they can't poke back through the legal system or through some other means, if they're not getting the victories, and that's kind of the situation I'm in, is that, I didn't necessarily have a crushing victory, but neither did the ex. Maybe in some ways, I think the court system didn't treat her the way she thought that she should have been treated, like by me getting 50-50, that maybe she thought that it was, devastating on that part. I don't know. Or maybe it's money. I don't know. All I know is, the court stuff basically stopped, but they don't stop. They don't stop screwing with things. So what do? If they can't directly mess with you, they try to mess with any relationship you're in. They try to mess with your family. They try to destroy anything they possibly can. And when they run out of everything else, when they've reached, the list, they start using your kids. And they will jab them in the eye to try to provoke a reaction out of you. And it's really tough. And you got to just pick your battles. So my point on this is, if you're early into this, or you watch some of my other videos and you're like, man, that don't make sense. I'm not going to let them get away with anything. I'm not just going to sit by the sidelines and, let them say whatever they want and not get it, whatever. Hey, man, you do you. And I get it, because I was there at one point too. And if you can have some victories in that and it works out, then outstanding. But if you find yourself constantly thinking and ruminating about your ex, and every time you talk to somebody, you're explaining to what a piece of garbage human they are, you got to ask yourself, is that really helping you? Is that helping your life? Is it getting you where you want to go? And at the end of the day, getting as far away from these psychotic people is the goal. Disentangle them from your life as much as possible. And know that they are always going to revert back to the same crap. My point is this: if you find yourself saying, hey, no, I'm not going to, Duane, what you're saying is crazy. I am not going to let them get away with this. I'm going to fight to the tooth, to my dying breath. The problem is, if you do that, you're gonna expedite that. You're gonna hasten your dying breath, because the stress and the anxiety of this crap has a toll on your body. And I want you to get your life back. I want you to, like my other channel, to be out camping or doing something else you love, and maybe drop me a note and say, hey man, thanks for all the help back in the day. Look what I'm doing now, and see a smiling picture with you and your kids, or hell, just you and by yourself next to a campfire or beach or Bermuda or wherever the hell it is that makes you happy. That's what I want for you. I want you to get from the point that you're entangled with this nightmare person who's just trying to drag you down, to have the life that you deserve and the experience you deserve. Now, I get that, especially if you're early into this, you're looking at it going, well, wait a minute, everything's destroyed. Yeah, that's exactly the same way I felt too. But guys, it gets better. It gets better. You just hunker down, fight the fights that you have to fight, get to the point where, you can declare victory and start living your life. And know that as they realize that you're moving on and having a life and being happy, oh dear God, how dare you? Bottom line is, though, at some point, hopefully, you're going to get up and you're say, okay, you know what? I am tired of spending 75 to 100% of my time focusing on the ex, and I'm going to flip that around. I'll leave 20%. 20% of my mental capacity, my spiritual capacity, and dealing with their BS. And the rest of it, I'm going to focus on myself, rebuilding my life, rebuilding my, having experiences with my kids, whatever the hell that might be. And once you make that pivot, things start to get better. Things start to change. Your life starts to get better. Now, anyways, so I'm going to leave it at that. This video is running longer than I anticipated. So curious what you think about this. I know a lot of people have differing of opinions on this, and hopefully maybe this will be an explanation or a revisit of this, and I hope this discussion is helpful. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell notification, select all, to get notified of all videos, so that way when I post something, YouTube might show it to you. And would love to get a thumbs up, a comment. If you want to see something a little different, if you need a break from all this drama and chaos, check out my camping channel. I'll leave a link, or a link is in the description down below. You can see something, just something completely random, not talking about this crap. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care.